Oppenheimer wasn't destroyed by building the atomic bomb. He was destroyed the moment he tried to speak after it worked. You think Oppenheimer collapsed because he built the atomic bomb. He collapsed because once it worked, he was no longer allowed to speak. That's how power works. It uses people for outcomes, then removes them the moment they become inconvenient. And once you see how it happened to him, you'll start noticing the same pattern playing out everywhere, even around you. Oppenheimer was the first clear example of this pattern, chosen precisely because he was useful, because he had something the system needed more than obedience, a mind that could solve the impossible. When the US needed a way to turn a theoretical idea into a working weapon, they put him in charge of making it real. And once the problem was solved, the system realized he wasn't an asset anymore. He was a risk. Not directly, strategically. They didn't attack his work, they questioned his loyalty. Once loyalty was questioned, nothing he said needed to be answered. From that moment on, the system didn't argue with him. It quietly dismantled his authority. After that, his voice no longer shaped decisions. It was kept out of the room where decisions were made. That's why what came next wasn't a debate or a trial. It was a procedure designed to make sure he could never matter again. They called it a security hearing. He wasn't there to defend himself. He was there to justify a decision already made. Because the hearing wasn't about truth. It was about control. They didn't need proof. They only needed to suggest that he might not be loyal enough. Old associations were dragged back into the present and treated like confessions. The result was simple. His security clearance was taken away. After that, his voice no longer shaped decisions. It was kept out of the room where decisions were made. His reputation was no longer, his future was no longer negotiable. What happened to Oppenheimer wasn't personal. It was procedural, a method, a pattern. And that pattern didn't end with him. The system that did this to him never stopped operating. Oppenheimer wasn't the exception. He was the early warning.